Another thing I realized too, I talked to a lot of Christians. And a lot of Christians, they read the Bible. Is that all about that? Is that clear about that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And they pray in other tongues. They pray in normal prayer. They go from church to church. They fellowship. They nod their head when the preacher says something that's nice, and all that kind of stuff. And they pray to Jesus, and they have never been helped. Their nature never changed. They're still the same person. And I know it's because I didn't know until these layers start to fall away that what needs to happen is our nature need to change. And that's what it means to die daily. You're dying from the illusion of who you are and what you've been taught and the ups and the downs and the rights and the wrongs. And even the morality, the idea about morality is wrong. All of your ideas about morality is just something you've taught and been taught, and that's why you've never been able to live them, because they're just intellectually taught. And you have not that old nature, which is the nature of the devil, which is the illusion, which is not us. We have not overcome that. And the light would cause the nature to change. And that's why we shouldn't be calling ourselves these things that the world and the devil tell us that we are. It's not who we are at all. It's just we're living a wrong nature. Anyone that has anger, insecurity, up and down emotionally, trying to be rich, trying to be this and trying to be that, ownership and all that kind of stuff. It's the wrong nature. We must die from the nature. And the nature is the illusion of the devil that make us think that that's who we are. We're none of those things. Not one person of those things. Now, I know some people, they love their hell. They really love it, and they don't want you to tell them that they're in hell. And they'll get mad at you for telling them they're in hell. They'd rather stay there. They love their misery. They call it life. And I know they're roaming around earth in families and things like that, trying to hurt someone else so they should stay alive. Now, those people, no help for them at all. But there are others who want to overcome it. They know something is wrong, and they might not understand what it is. And so I'm trying to reach those who do want to overcome. And I know everybody not going to want to, even Christ knew that. Only a few, a very few, because it's not, you have to really have a made up mind to go through all this, especially with the ego death, dying each day. You got to have a made up mind that you're going to go through that, because when you go, as you're going through it, you lose so much. You lose a lot. You lose friends, you lose family members, you lose whatever, right? But it doesn't, when you lose it, it just feels like the loss of hell. It doesn't feel like you really lost something important. It just seemed that you lost something that you thought was important, and it really wasn't. And so it's an illusion. Nobody's been helped. Because when the last time you met anyone that overcame that old nature? They said they were a Christian. They said they had love, but they'll cut you out in a minute. They said they were Christian. They said they had love, but you can hurt their feelings just like that. You can say one thing to them, as long as you're agreeing with them, they love you. And the moment you disagree, it's over. But that's a Christian. They've been saved by the blood. The blood, it's about, speaking in tongues. It's the cross, it's at the cross. But yet they don't bear the cross. Bearing the cross is to overcome the ego. To be alone and let the devil scream at you and let the devil yell, oh no, where's God now? How come it's not happening? How long is this going to last? What is it like for God to help you? We don't know what it's like to believe in God. We really don't know. You will know, and the beauty is all belief in him will disappear and you will know him. Because belief come and go too. I believe you're right until you make me mad. Now I don't believe you're right. Have you ever met people like that? Yeah. I believe you're right until you make me mad. I no longer believe it. that nature needs to change, the nature of the devil, and stay with it, and the layers of illusion will disappear. It's a spiritual battle, it's totally spiritual, a spiritual battle. And the beauty is Satan wants you to think he has power over the mind and emotion, because the emotion, if you don't catch those thoughts right away, you'll get lost in them, and the pain that comes from them can be overwhelming. It can really be overwhelming, because you're convinced that it's your pain, and it's just, you like, and while you're going through the pain, say like, you might as well give up. This ain't working. And if you're not all in and committed, you give up. The prayer ain't working, I ain't doing that. When it's really the devil yelling and screaming because he doesn't want, we are possessed, and he doesn't want to be away from you. Depart. He have to depart if you stay away. As these layers and layers are falling away, Satan is falling away too. And you can have a life with no judgment, no ideas, no plans, no nothing, and life will work. We're one. We're supposed to be a whole, not divided. And when we have all these ideas about who we are and what we think, we have identified with everything, really. We have so many identities, it's not even funny. That's why parents don't want to let their children go, especially mothers, because they have identified, they get their identity from the children. They feel like a mama. Well, why do you feel like a mama? Because I have kids. Okay, they're grown now. Let them go. No, because if you let your grown kids go, who will you be? The mothers need the grown kids to call them every day in the week. Because if they don't call them, they're going to lose that identity of feeling like a mama. It's a false identity. Layers and layers of it. And you got to start watching it. And watch yourself too. Don't hide from anything. It look like, you know how the devil tell you, oh, you go in that crowd, they're going to be looking at you. Go in the crowd and shaking your boots. And there's another layer, another death you've done for that day. If you got to argue with your kids, let it happen. And see how you feel about it. Are you mad at the way they think? Or how they're holding things against you? Let that happen so you can see this thing that's not you. Because it's truly not us. The fears and the doubts and the insecurities and the desires are not ours. They're not us. That we are truly possessed. And calling on the name of God is not going to do it. It's never done it. It's just an idea that you have about God. And calling on the name of God, oh God, I need some money, and then some money comes. It ain't from God, it's from Satan. Satan will give you some money. It's deeper. So that's why I want to encourage you to, during the weekdays, and practice keeping eyes on you. And when you feel a certain way, just notice, no, it's not you feeling that way. It's the spirit of the devil feeling that way in your flesh, in your mind and flesh. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Satan don't want to leave you. He doesn't want to leave you. It ain't easy. It gets easier, but it ain't easy because we identify with it. No one can make you feel anything that's not there. You don't have to put up with this stuff. If you don't put up with it inside of you, you're not going to put up with it inside of anyone else. But if you put up with hell inside of you, you're going to put up with other people's hell. That's why marriages and relationships don't work, because two people put over each other hell.
What do you mean by put up with?
I'll wait till the mic comes.
Okay. What do you mean by put up with it?
Let's say that you're in business. This is a good one. And I have to know business partners this week. And one business partner decide that they don't want to be a part of the business, or they want to do it a different way. Okay, fine. Go on, I'll do it. I'll take it over. You don't have to argue with them about it. You don't have to try to convince them of anything. Let it go because you don't have an attachment to it anyway. And if it's something you want to do, it's going to work. In a relationship with husband and wife, if the husband don't want to be there, let him go. Okay, bye. Or the wife don't want to be there. Okay, bye. The only reason you want the wife or the husband to stay and they don't want to be there because you are trying to get a sense of identity from it. I need to be loved. I need to love somebody. You said you loved me when we met. When we had sex, you said it was love. That, you don't have to put up with that anymore when you die each day. The person don't want to be there, okay. Because nothing lost. You wasn't getting anything from it. And yet you treat each other perfectly. Because you didn't judge. You wasn't trying to get a sense of anything from it. It was just a relationship. And it was the real love because you can take it or leave it. Amazing, huh? Anything about that? Any questions? That makes sense? Yeah. Yes, Sean. And then I'll come to you, Frank.
So have you ever heard of anyone, of that happening for anyone, in a moment, like all those layers disappearing? How you say,
They don't. You know what? They don't. I'll let you finish your question. Make sure you ask me.
You say, if you knew this to be the truth, you would let go just like that, and all these layers would disappear just like that.
Right.
Does that happen for anyone? Or is it always a process?
I do not know of anyone that it just happened all at once.
Yeah.
The layer of the wall is so thick but I do know of people who is overcoming those layers and layers of false identities.
Yeah.
But I do not know. I wonder what that's like though for all of it just be over. Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah. That's a nice idea.
Yeah. Well.
And I believe it could be over with just like that, but I'm so identified with these other layers of things that I don't even know I have. Like I didn't know I was addicted to, I didn't know I had identified with the name Jesse. And so now when someone says, hey, Jesse, I'm gonna respond, but consciously. That way I want to get a sense. People cuss you out if you say something bad about their names. Have you ever? They want to fight. If I say, I don't like no African name, I'm an American, I want an American name, right? The African name person want to fight me because they have identified with the name. They think they are their name. They think it gives them a sense of somebody. You're not your name. You're just a word. You are a living being, a spiritual being. You're not your name, you're not your body, you're not those emotions, you're not the thoughts, you're none of those things. You're not the car you drive. It's just a car. It's not the house, it's just something you live in. But it's there, it's all built up and we don't know it. So did that answer that?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know anyone. I bet that would be amazing. And I believe we can just like that, we can just overcome it all. But we've been on this earth so many years, we've been taught so many things that we've identified with, it's hard to let them go. But you can.